In this lesson, we will talk about transitions. Transitions are a great way to change from one clip to the other, and it adds a lot of production value because instead of just cutting to the next clip, you can have creative fades such as crossfades, dissolves, or you can have a fade that dips to black, to white, and then back to the new clip, or you could have purchased transitions or ones that you've created in After Effects that are meant as colorful animation designs that, when placed between two clips, creates a very cool look that transitions between one to the other. In order to add a transition, there are a few different ways you can do it. You can simply right click and go Apply Default Transitions, and that right away created a cross dissolve in between these two clips, and this is what that looks like. Okay, without it, it looks like this. It just straight cuts. Let's move this over. Another way we can do it is by going into our Effects panel, go into Video Transitions, Dissolve, and you can see the one that has the colored outline. That's the one that is set to default. In order to change that, you can right-click another one and create it as the default transition. I would recommend keeping it as cross dissolve, as that is the one that is mostly used. Okay, so you can click on this and drag it down to where you'd like it. And that's the way it goes. Now the reason why it's adding it on this clip and not this clip is because when we were picking the select, the clip actually starts here. So for example, if we were to create it on this clip, if we move it up, we can see that there is more to play with on this side, whereas on this clip, there is no more. This clip has some more to play with. So let's bring that down. Let's bring that back to how it was. And because this clip has more to play with on this side as well, when we add a transition, it'll balance in the middle of both. So let's go to cross dissolve, drag it down, and you can see that now it's directly in the middle, as opposed to on this clip where it only goes on the right side. That's because this clip has more to play with on that, expanding this way, but this clip doesn't have any more to play on this side. Now, to further go into transitions, if we want it longer, we can put the mouse here until we get this symbol, click and drag, and then we can make a longer transition or a shorter transition. Now, a shorter transition will look like this, and a longer transition will look like this. Okay, so that's just to taste. You can make it as long as or as short as you want. This one will look like this. It's pretty much the same thing. It just happens earlier because it's showing more frames before the clip actually starts, because there's more clip to work with. And then simply click and drag or apply default transitions, or because this is selected, we can also press Command D, and that'll add a cross dissolve. Okay, so if we zoom in a little bit, and if we hold Shift, we can affect one side of the transition without affecting the other. Let's hold Shift and move the cursor right until we see the symbol change at the end, and then we can move this, and then you can see that the right side is longer than this side. So if we wanted to change this, if we did it without holding Shift, it would extend the right side by the same amount. Let's undo that. So what we can do is hold Shift and drag it, then it only affects this side. If we only wanted a very fast one frame transition, we can do it the same way. We can hold Shift and bring it all the way down. Or if we wanted 2 frames like that, we can do it that way as well. If we want to remove a transition, we can right click and go to clear, or we can select it and press delete. And just to clarify, with the Command D approach, you have to have the cursor in the middle of the 2 clips in order for it to work. If you try to do it over here, it will just not work. You need to apply it Command D just like that. Now you can, without holding Shift, just drag it from the beginning if you want to get it to 2 frames, 1 on either side, very fast. Okay, so right now it is highlighted. We can click away to verify that. We can delete it if we don't want that there. Now there are other transitions such as dip to black. We can just click that, drag it there, and what that does is, okay, we can go to dip to white. Some other transitions you can do are more animated, such as slide, where it'll actually slide the clip, or split. For example, we'll do it on this one. Now you can see it turned into red here. That means it takes more processing power and it may not play back perfectly. The yellow line means that it should be able to play back. A green line means it's fully been rendered and it'll have no problem playing back. Okay, now even though it's red, it is set to a quarter, so it had no problem playing that. However, sometimes with it being selected as red, the system will be a little sluggish and it will start to look like it's skipping frames and lagging a bit. If that's the case, you'll just have to stop, start it over again, and either render that selection, or you can simply just try to play through it again.